All right, my friends, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm finally ready to do my review for Star Wars Outlaws. Yes, I know. Thank you guys for being patient, for waiting for this, but it took me a few days to try to get through this game. And then it took me, a couple of hours to sit here and kind of think about the experience that I had and what best way to bring you the information about how I'm feeling about Star Wars Outlaws. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm going to give Star Wars Outlaws an 8. And now I'm going to do my best to explain why I chose to give it an 8. But first of all, I want to talk about the overall Star Wars experience and if it is good enough to be an actual Star Wars property. So let's talk about the worlds, the characters, the overall just the overall feel of the materials, stuff like that. I do feel like this is a very good, probably one of the best looking Star Wars adaptations that we've ever seen ever. Like the materials inside the ships, the use of ray tracing, the overall characters, the character designs, the fauna and flora, all of that stuff looks absolutely incredible. When you go to Tatooine, you feel like you're on Tatooine. When you are on these other planets, like they feel incredible. They look incredible. It has that Star Wars aesthetic, and I think they 100% nailed that. So I don't have any problem with that. Like it looks good. When you are going through the story and you're seeing how everything kind of strings together and stuff, I think you would probably feel the same way. I feel like at a base level for a Star Wars game, absolutely knocked it out of the park. I think they did an incredible job bringing Star Wars to an open world video game and getting that. When you're in like some of the canteens or the saloons or anything like that, all of them are different on every different planet. They all feel unique to that world, to that design. Everything just falls into place and it looks incredible. When you're talking to like the other characters in the game, overall voice acting very, very good, and you feel like you're in the Star Wars universe, and that is what matters a lot. Like that matters, especially if you're buying something from the Star Wars universe. I think this absolutely nails that. So now, Froggy, why did you give a Ubisoft game an 8? Well, guys, I am pretty hard on Ubisoft games. And there's certain things about Ubisoft games that I love, and certain things that I need to be part of that experience for me to fully feel like I'm getting the best out of my game. So, Star Wars Outlaws took me 18 hours to get through. I played half of this game through on the Outlaw difficulty setting, which was fine. I could have kept going through the whole game at that difficulty. I mean, I don't think I would have had a problem, getting to the end of the game and seeing how things work. It would have been a slightly frustrating experience to go through this like that. I would have probably ended up taking a lot longer than 18 hours to get through this game. The overall, I feel like the balance of difficulty and everything in this game might just be a little bit off. Obviously, you'd be able to get through it, you'd be able to do it, but I feel like the balance is just a little bit, especially in some of these stealth sections, you'll get into them, and on the Outlaw difficulty, if one person sees you, they all know you're there, like instantly, like you're screwed. And then there's so many levels in this game that are an instant fail if they see you, if they catch you and they turn on the alarm and stuff like that. So, slightly altering that difficulty down to just make it so like you're not as like on the edge the whole time, because some of these levels can get pretty long, but there are checkpoints in them. You can get to a checkpoint, and then all of that is okay. Like you'll get to a checkpoint, you'll be just fine. But this is like one of those. This is like the first time that I've ever like altered the difficulty on a Ubisoft game this drastically. All of the little mini things like the slicing, the picking the locks and all of that stuff. I turned that stuff all off and just did it, whatever. That stuff was just, there's no way I'm trying to go through some of these levels trying to sit there and match up like no, we're not doing that. Sorry. It was I tried it for a long time. I tried it for a very long time, and I was just like, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like the way it feels. Once I switched all of that, everything felt a lot better. I kept the difficulty for like fights and all of that stuff up, but other stuff, you know, like them being able to like detect you and stuff like that, I kind of lowered that a little bit. I don't feel bad about it, but I definitely, if you're going to try to get through this on the Outlaw difficulty, I definitely recommend planning things out, using the environment to the fullest, upgrading your equipment, doing every single thing you can to give your character an edge, because it's difficult. And it can be slightly a little bit more difficult than you probably want to. Now, it does kind of suck, because I was rushing through this weekend to try to get this done. I literally sat here all day. I woke up at like 7 o'clock this morning, and I've been playing it all the way until about 7 o'clock. So I put like a good 12 hours into this game today. That was crazy. I sat here and did the whole thing, and I was like, all right, cool. That's awesome. Now, let me go ahead and start breaking down the things the reasons why I lowered the overall, you know, rating from a 10 to an 8 for Star Wars Outlaws. Now, if you know me, you know I love open world games. Now, there are 4 worlds that you're going to be able to travel to that are essentially the open world part of the meat and potatoes of the Star Wars game. And the first planet is absolutely incredible. I love that. But the biggest thing, the reason why I'm docking points, is because I cannot climb whatever I want to climb. I can't climb anything. Now, there are some cool things, you know, like being able to rappel and climbing, you know. In this game, it's more in line, the climbing and stuff is more in line with something like not The Last of Us, but Uncharted. This feels like an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider in terms of being able to climb around and stuff like that. And for me, in an open world Ubisoft game, I need to be able to go anywhere I want, and I need to be able to climb anything I want. I don't want to be climbing up a mountain and get stuck and not be able to go any higher. I want to be able to climb and scale those mountains. I want to be able to get out there. That's like one of the things I really love about Ubisoft games, is being able to go to the highest peaks, look out, and have fun. I think that's probably one of the reasons why Assassin's Creed is one of my all-time favorite games, is just being able to scale everything and anything when I want to and however I want to. That there adds so much longevity to open world games for me, it's not even funny. Now, the other part that I'm docking points for this game is 2 of the worlds they feel more like corridors. So when you get to Kijimi and you get to Akiva, both of these worlds, while vast in size, they feel like in a Kijimi, you pretty much are walking around the whole level. Like you're pretty much on foot, and it's like a giant city that you'll be going through and like talking to people and doing stuff like that. So that world right there, definitely kind of losing some points for that one. I do like the overall aesthetic and the overall way it was designed. It's absolutely beautiful, but I wanted to be able to go out and scale like the snowy mountains and stuff like that. But it feels like it is a pretty constrained overall level. Now, the big one is Akiva. Now, Akiva is an absolute beautiful environment. Absolutely beautiful. This place is raining all the time. It's like a monsoon type experience where the rain is just always there, and it's like, oh my gosh. So this is so good. The attention to detail is so good that when you are, that when you're there and like the rain's coming down, you can actually see Kay's hair start to get wet. And it's just such an incredible freaking feature that I really appreciated that. And I was like, wow, this is cool. But the biggest thing about it is it pretty much is a speeder, like a speeder level. You are essentially on your speeder. Like the things are so, the world, I mean, this world is pretty vast. This map is pretty vast, but how far you got to travel from point to point, you pretty much have to use a speeder to be able to get there. And that to me kind of just feels like it would be wasting my time, because I can't just go up and over the mountains like I would in like Assassin's Creed or Ghost Recon or anything like that. I pretty much am limited to the speeder, or it's going to take me significantly longer just to run to all of this. Now, I did, in all fairness, run around the whole map on foot. Like, it took over an hour just to get around this whole map from start to finish in like a big circle. So overall, like, the size and scope of this map is actually pretty vast and pretty good. So I do appreciate that, but the whole fact that I have to be on a speeder mostly is yeah, that's like a no, I don't really like to do that. But you got like the speeder, once you upgrade it, you can drive on the water and all this stuff. You can go out into the little lake and all of that stuff and have fun. So that is pretty cool. There's a lot of things in this game that I feel like I've barely scratched the surface just going through the overall story content. I do plan to sit here for the rest of the night and put more time into this, really exploring things, going out of my way to like really see how some of this other stuff is going to react, and just all the extra secrets and stuff that I can find. Overall pickups and stuff like that, upgrading and all of that stuff came pretty naturally, pretty quickly. I was able to find a legendary outfit just by doing story content. So you'll be able to get that, and you'll be able to, you know, customize your character to the best you can. So now I want to talk about K, Vess, Nix, Woke, all of that stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you guys straight up, I really did think that I was going to go into this game and I was going to have to go over to the store and I was going to have to get me a couple of cases of Bud Light so that I could transition into a casual gamer and play this. But I can honestly say that I was able to beat this game without any Bud Light. So in terms of it being woke, like, while there is a little bit of stuff, and obviously most of the cast are going to be female characters, they really did go out and try to make this, you know, like a female-led thing. There's definitely a bunch of guys in there, but more or less most of this cast and most of it is females or droids or something like that, which is not a bad thing. Like, I don't necessarily care about that. As long as the story content around that kind of stuff is written good, I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think it's woke to have female-led games. I don't. It's just that when you start getting into stuff like stealth, you know, and like you start knocking people out, like stormtroopers and stuff like that, people are just going to complain about it. But they're not going to complain about that when it's in Tomb Raider or in Horizon or any of them other games. It's only when it's a Ubisoft game. So I don't think the game is woke. Obviously, you know, people could easily turn that into this game is woke and blah, blah, blah. Like, they could easily do that. I think there's enough in there to where, you know, Ubisoft, you know, is going to have to deal with that from the people that are out there looking for reasons to tear this game down. It's not hard to find. It's not hard to find in here, but I can honestly say that none of it bugged me. I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was fine. The characters in the story are written well enough to where I'm like, okay, like, I'm cool with that. Like, it was good. It was entertaining. It was fun. Like, the overall story content of this game, easily I could give that a 10 because I thought it was great. I thought it was incredible. But the overall game is an 8 for me. Now, when I think about the overall experience of how, you know, Star Wars Outlaws played out, and the biggest reasons why I'm giving it an 8 is because normally, guys, when I play a Ubisoft game, I easily get to about 100 hours in these games. Easily, no problem. I don't think that I'm going to be able to hit 100 hours in Star Wars Outlaws easily. We'll find out when the new DLC and all of that launches, because I did spend $120 on this game, so I already have access to the DLCs when they become available. I'll be able to get in there and potentially add more playtime to this. But as it sits right now, I don't think what's here is going to give me that average 50 hours that I usually get from the overall game, just exploring and stuff. The overall story content was already fairly anemic at just coming in at just under 18 hours. If I would have been just doing the story content, this probably would have taken about 15 hours because I did put about 4 hours or so into it, just exploring and doing that kind of stuff, obviously. But the overall length of game that I was able to get out of this definitely could have been a lot longer. So I don't know if I'm going to hit that. So it does definitely make it a little bit harder for me to recommend paying full price for this game. But I can easily recommend this at like $49.99. I can easily recommend this one on Ubisoft Plus. Get it, play through it in a month. You'll easily be able to do this in a weekend. You'll be able to sit down and get through this, get the story content, and enjoy it. Just enjoy it. You know, if you do pay full price for this, my friends, And this is the only way I can recommend paying full price for this, is if you play this game like a marathon. If you start it and you literally just find every single secret that you can access on the first level before going to the next one, and then doing the same thing over and over and over again, and then being able to go back to those once you find like the stuff to break rocks or do all of these other things, all of the other stuff that's going to help you access other areas. If you spend your time doing all of that and going and getting all of this before getting to the last part where you're going to beat the game, then I can recommend paying full price. But if you're going to rush through this game, don't pay full price for it. Get it on Ubisoft Plus. Wait until it goes down in price. But if you can commit to like making this your #1 game for at least 30 hours, if you can make this your game for like 30 hours, 40 hours or whatever, absolutely it's worth paying full price. But if you're going to rush through it, I don't know if you're going to be able to get that. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that satisfaction out of rushing through this game. So if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any comments, let me know in the comment section what you think, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.